Yo, what's up, beautiful souls? Yo, what's good? Yo, so I asked Spirit like what to do the live once today, and immediately he gave me the he showed me Nature Boy, the cult leader from Atlanta, right? And then he put in my heart to talk about Charles Manson and Jim Jones and these demonic cult leaders throughout years who have harnessed power and misused it out of fear, out of narcissism and control. Okay. I want to set the right narrative. Again, I am a master shaman. I am a light worker, so I hold nothing but light. Um, and I believe in unity, love, and light of all of humanity as a whole. So, as we dive into what definitely needs to be talked about, we want to address, okay, we have Nature Boy right here. We have Charles Manson, and we have Reverend Jim Jones, who was a reverend and misused his power and controlled thousands of people and had to move to a deserted area in which they literally lived off of processed food that were only in the village, only using water and things of that nature that was not controlled by the government. Because as we know, there's a lot of corruption, things put in food, there's things put in a multitude of things, fluorides, irons, and what have you. And these type of things, if you research these things on the body and the spirit, keeps you from connecting to the frequency of being, right? So let me set the narrative straight. As a shaman, I am a being of God. It's misconstrued that it is demonic or witchcraft or whatnot or what have you, but it is not. Okay, as a shaman, I want the best for all of humanity. The reason I was blessed to become a shaman is because I have had no karma. Okay, I haven't hurt nobody. I don't hurt people, and so on and so forth. Right. Um, these individuals right here. Let me make this bigger for you guys. Okay, so these guys right here. So Nature Boy. This is the young man from Atlanta who believed the ideologies, excuse my language, of As, uh, Ashun, which is the way of the ancestors. I also believe in that in the way that I praise as I have my altar and my things of that nature. Okay, the issue here with Nature Boy is that he had childhood trauma. He had trauma dealing with fear of no different from the fear of the man who shot up the Buffalo supermarket and felt as though now the end of the race is coming, so I need to do something. Okay, so this is the same ideology that created a cult for this young man out of fear. And that's something that shamans don't have. We don't have fear, we have blind faith in God, right? God will handle all karma, God will handle all that is and all that was. Okay, so where he went wrong in what he was doing is that he resulted in control. Okay, we got to know that with love and light, um, anything can be gained. Okay, um, you can find God yourself. You don't need no one to control you. You set the narrative. But the goal here is to have no fear and have blind faith. You follow me? So he controlled the masses. Not only with that, he used the Jezebel beast. He had it was very sexual. It's important that leaders control the Jezebel beast because as you see what happened it caused um, a uproar, so to speak, to where it turned into domestic violence. It turned into him being reported, and so on and so forth. Okay, there's no difference from him and Charles Manson, this guy who, out of control and not only control, but the narcissistic spiritual fear of the end of the world and control of the government. Okay. Um, then you also have with Reverend Jim Jones, he did the same thing. This was a Jonestown massacre. Okay. He literally moved millions, not millions, but almost millions of people to a designated area and forced everyone to take poison and kill themselves after the FBI infiltrated what was happening. And let's be clear here. All of these men were having sex with their entire um, cult. They were controlling them with sex and abuse and so on and so forth. Okay. So that's how they controlled the masses. Um, and that's not appropriate. Okay. You got to learn how to control that at its core. So let's go back and get into this. Okay. Cult leaders going wild and why. All right. Police reports offer new details on arrest of alleged decap cult leader Nature Boy. Okay. Jonestown, I want to correlate that with Jonestown. It didn't get to this point, but it could have. Okay. Look back at the infamous 1978 mass murder suicide, one of the most harrowing tragedies in American history. The goal here is to live a positive, successful soul progression without death, without having to take the easy way out. Strength is what God wants. Tenacity is what God wants. God doesn't want you to go out the hard way because pressure makes diamonds. So if you don't go through that pressure with your head held high and without being corrupted with greed and control and the beast, that's when you're anointed and blessed thus far. But when you have to go through this route, this is demonic. Okay, this is people that have gained the knowledge, gained power, and taken over by the beast. Okay, and been used. A lot of these mass shootings and all this other type of stuff has the same pretenses of this psychological dysfunction that takes over in the mind due to fear of the end of the world and so on and so forth. Okay, and then they have this power and they don't know what to do with this power. So what he did was he literally had all his almost millions of people take poison out of control because the FBI was hard on him, so he killed everybody. See, as a shaman, my goal isn't to control. My goal isn't to have a flock and lead everyone to death. My goal, our goal, should to lead people to life. Life, okay? Whether you believe it or not, to life after death, okay? You don't want to die and just disappear. You want to be reborn and serve God. That's the goal here. Okay. So what he did here is he let everyone take the easy way out. My job as a shaman is to let people build spiritual moral integrity so that any obstacle, I don't care if the FBI is coming, if the beast was looking you in your face, my job is to give you strength from your soul plexus so you can handle this pressure to make you better so that you have no fear and you have blind faith in God, no matter what. So when it comes to these three individuals, Nature Boy, Charles Manson, and Jim Jones, they all had this sense of narcissism control and this sense of fear from childhood trauma. And a lot of leaders and shamans that are ordained by God, like myself, have been healed from childhood trauma, and we've been ordained to lead so that God knows. But in the instance that someone gains the knowledge and the power and they misuse it, the ancestors turn their backs on them. And this is when demise happens. Okay? Until September 11th attacks, the tragedy in Jonestown on November 18th, 1978, represented the largest number of American civilian casualties in a single non-natural event. It is unfathomable Now, as it was then that more than 900 Americans, members of San Francisco based religious group called the People's Temple, died after drinking poison at the urging of their leader, the Reverend Jim Jones. In a scheduled South American settlement, okay, this was in South American jungle settlement, all right, photographs taken after the carnage forever documented the sheer um, enormity of the event. The bodies of hundreds of people, including children, lying face down in grass. Nearly 40 years later, the infamous and horrific event continues to fascinate us through numerous books, articles, and documentaries. Okay, I want to show these pictures again. Look at this. Because they had blind faith in somebody that led them not to be strong. Okay, that's not what a leader is supposed to do. That's a leader that has the knowledge of the universe, that has the gift of leading the masses, and then they literally have not healed deep down childhood trauma. And these are the type of people that are into the whole black magic or whatever, what have you, and so on and so forth. These are the evil ones, okay? And for those of you, here go my evil eye bracelet. For those of you out there probably looking at, look, I ain't the one to mess with. So for those of you that might be offended by what I'm saying, I'm gonna pray for y'all. And that's period. Okay. This is Nature Boy. Okay. He's having a headdress, which is I'm a shaman, so this is definitely my type of uniform. However, the difference here is that he had also had, well, there is no difference. He also holds the Native American and African ancestry, where I get my power from. However, um, God is in control, and love, light, and unity is key. It's not to have you looking all stressed out. That's not the goal of God here. This isn't the goal. You see the frustration in their face. There's no reason they shouldn't be smiling. That's not the goal. Okay. DeKalb County, Georgia, illegal bishop, the alleged cult leader known as Nature Boy, was arrested after a former member of the cult who identified herself as his girlfriend said he posted revenge porn because she left him. That a several other details about the case of Bishop, who has allegedly led more than a dozen followers in the Carbon Nation, is called the Carbon Nation cult, as well as spread his influence with a robust social media following in the tens of thousands, are revealed to police reports released to 11 Alive on Wednesday. According to the reports, the woman told police that she had joined a sex cult in which her boyfriend is the leader, and that she did live together with Mr. Bishop, and he has posted sexually explicit videos of her and him without her consent on Twitter. Okay? Related. He abused me. Wife of alleged cult leader speaks out after his arrest. So they target people who are who are damaged. These people target people that are weak, so they could control them. You know what I'm saying? That have not healed from their trauma either. So they use this sense of trauma bonding to create a following, right? And that's not appropriate, because they're getting these people that's damaged so that it's easy to control them and manipulate them, abuse them. There was talk of HIV and AIDS being transmitted throughout the cult as well. I remember watching the interview, and the guy said he dated Tran. He's one of the young men. Spirit said that the cult leader, he messes with men as well. So he made it comfortable for everyone to be dealing with each other, and he was able to manipulate the situation. And that's not what a shaman and a true leader of the Most High Light God does. Okay. Um, Bishop, she added, had direct other women girlfriends to hit her, which led her to escape. Okay, so this is just a whole bunch of just narcissistic control and childhood trauma of abuse that he went through, that he lashed out amongst his followers. Okay. According to DeKalb County Jail records, Bishop faces 5 charges: rape, false imprisonment, and 3 counts of prohibition on a nude and sexually explicit electronic transmission. Under Georgia law, it's a violation of sending nude and explicit communication of someone without the consent of the depicted person. Okay? Other women who have left the cult, including one woman who says she was his wife, have said they've been subjected to sexual corrosion and abuse. Bishop's cult reportedly began as one centered around sexual and naturalistic themes, though social media accounts indicate more recently it has reoriented around Bishop's own Masonic self-image and Black liberation messaging. Okay, so let's get this together. As a shaman, this is all right. Okay, we have Native American ancestry, we have African ancestry, and I also have Irish ancestry to where my abilities come from. Okay, the issue here is that once the power is gifted to you to attract the masses, you have got to use spiritual moral integrity, because one thing you don't want to do is piss God off, period. Okay, because as a chosen one, you're gifted with these abilities, but once you use them for self gain, for control, for pain, to hurt, and you start not creating good karma and you start creating bad karma for your lineage and your ancestors are the ones who gifted you through the blessing of God. All right? They will strip you of your power and your abilities and your following, and your whole life will be over, as you see with him, and as you see with these 3 right here. Okay, Charles Manson and Jim Jones, all of them's everything. So once God woke them up to what was really going on, instead of operating out as a leader out of love light, okay, and helping encourage people to be the best version of themselves, no suicide is not an option. No taking poison is an option. No rape, no molesting, no passing STDs from each other is appropriate. Okay, that is not okay. So he was reprimanded. Okay, there is no people that are being blessed by their ancestors that loves God 100%, and they're in a photo sitting here looking all mean in 2022. There's no. Right now, the mission of God is unity, love, light. Let's just be clear. And no matter what goes on in your life, the goal is to smile through it and have tenacity and strength. Okay? And if anybody does not have that strength, the job of a chosen one is to help build them up. But the difference between me and him is I'm actually a real shaman with abilities. See, he just has some knowledge that with that little bit of knowledge, it instilled fear in him, and he literally just went ham with it. Okay, a lot of these people, they go with fear because they can't fully accept spirits too much. DeKalb County, Georgia, Legio Bishop, the alleged cult leader known as Nature Boy. Okay, here we go. Go back. This is him again. Okay. Posts are heavy on the number 3 in ancient Egyptian iconography, with Bishop referred to as the 3 God in the accounts. I also have ancestry in Egypt as well. That's where my abilities come from as well. So I do resonate with the knowledge. The difference is I'm actually a really gifted shaman of the utmost high God. A lot of people have the knowledge and they misuse it. You know what I'm saying? His videos and sermons portray him as a godlike figure, and he said in one message after his arrest, "They want to crucify me. They want me dead. There's hate that surrounds me. You can feel it. Just like any other prophet, only me. I'm the return of Christ." Okay, I am a 144,000. We are the return of the Christ consciousness. He is right. The difference here, okay, now, and let me just say this. What this man is saying is facts. I am a 144,000, a part of the Christ consciousness. Christ isn't coming back. He's not. We are the Christ consciousness. Us with abilities, us out here. But there's an issue because there's a neurological pandemic and these people are getting in psychosis. And the chosen ones, like this young man, has been lost in narcissistic behavior, in childhood trauma, and so he was unable to lead appropriately with spiritual moral integrity. So he's been stripped. He's thinking, he's assuming, because let me tell you, once you ordained by God as a 144,000 chosen seed, let me say it again. Once you are adorned with the Christ consciousness, people sit here, look at me, and he think he perfect. He think I am a real shaman. I am part of the Christ consciousness. I'm not here to be disrespectful. You're not gonna see me fly off the hook. I'm here to live my best life and lead by example with spiritual moral integrity, not to build karma. Our goal as chosen seeds is not to create karma, but to help humanity raise their consciousness. Okay? Sooner or later, people are going to see my prophecies and realize who I am. Okay? So what he's saying here is right. But they didn't crucify him because God wouldn't let that happen if he was doing his mission as he was supposed to do. But no, he was corrupted. So God took that from him. Not nobody else took that from him. Let's be clear. That's the easiest scapegoat to go. You feel me? This is them again. Okay, you got the wide eyes, you got the woo-woo. First of all, everybody isn't chosen. Let's just be, I literally really do talk to the dead and see past, present, and future. Everybody isn't an angel. So his whole ideology of how he was supposed to, that this is just all too much, too much. He lost himself in the power, okay? Without having control, without fully healing his childhood trauma and his pain, and loving unconditionally, leading with spiritual moral integrity. He failed God. So now his ancestors, he had to answer to his ancestors, and they stripped him of everything. It's not a joke. It's not a joke at all. When you tap into power like this and you have not been ordained a proper way, you understand what I'm saying? Your goal is not to hurt people. And let's just be clear, hurt people. And shamans, chosen seeds don't hurt people. We're not cut like that. But people retain this knowledge and they fake divines and they corrupt people. Again, he falls in line with these three individuals right here. Charles Manson and Jim Jones. These ideologies have facts in there, but they use them in a narcissistic way to appease the beast. And we can't have that. Okay? This is him again. Again, I literally talk to God, talk to angels. You don't see me up here doing some mess like that. And he's nowhere near as powerful as I am. Let's just be extremely clear here. I ain't here to boast or get clout. I'm him. Okay? You will never catch me wanting people to sit there and do no mess like that to me. You feel me? I'll probably be the one trying to love on somebody else that didn't have much. You feel me? A real chosen seed of God, a real king, a real royalty does not conduct themselves like this. It's not that serious. You understand what I'm saying? This is when the narcissism kicks in. This is when the control kicks in. He's smashing all of them. He's transferring STDs amongst all of them, having kids with all of them, letting them abuse each other. You understand what I'm saying? He conformed a world of the Jezebel and not only the Jezebel, but just a whole bunch of childhood trauma that he has not healed from, and he's getting his rocks off. These people following after him. He didn't have no money. He didn't have his own money. They actually paid his bills. They gave him his check. We don't Chosen seeds don't operate like that. But since he tapped into power and misused it, God got him together, not the white man. Let's just be clear. All that stuff that the world has fed humanity is false. Okay? There are chosen beings, but at the end of the day, the chosen ones, we're not out here trying to be all thirsty for attention. That ain't what we do. If it comes, it's because God wants us to be seen. Okay? That's just real. And I'm not talking about a 10. A lot of people didn't even know how powerful I was. That's how real it is. Because even as a kid, I was still talking to the dead when I was a kid. I was still talking to animals. I was still woo 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 woo. I was him. You know, I knew how smart I was, but you know what? I just was not. I was an introvert. You know, you just learn to be tactful and respectful. But all that ain't necessary. Chosen seeds, we don't need all that. You know why? Because we abundant. We abundant within. It's all here. You know what I'm saying? Um, and here they go, cult, like woo, wham, wham, wham. And that I just don't like that word cult. Let's just be clear. I do not like that word. It sounds like something that the world came up together. And if somebody uses that word knowing it has a negative indentation to it, they're trying to force a narrative that is not of God. I just want to say that. I don't like that word. Um, so again, I wanted my goal here is to talk about cult leaders going wild and why. And so let's just keep it a buck here. Again, my name is Master Shaman Josh Sterling. Okay. I see past, present, and future as an oracle. I talk to the dead loved ones. I can hold an object and connect to the object to a place in time. I have visions, audio. I've been blessed by all my ancestors from the beginning of time. Okay, I'm real royalty. Let's be clear. I've been chosen in my family and in my lineage. But us real chosen ones, real royalty, we're not gonna be out here seeking attention to be trying to control people. That ain't what we're here to do. So if you feel like you got a leader out here, whether it's a church, whether it's a drumming, and you got people trying to control you and not work with you with love, light, and unity and embrace you, that's not a real king. That's not righteous. And I want you to remember spiritual moral integrity. You feel what I'm saying? Um, right now there's a neurological pandemic going on. One day people gonna look at my videos and see that I prophesize all this dysfunction that's going on. Um, as a chosen seeds, nothing can happen to us. We won't go to prison. We won't black magic and stuff that's put on us. We're protected severely. And whoever does it will either probably die or get sick. That's how anointed I am. So for that to happen to him, he was in the wrong. Okay? Completely. And I want to tackle this at a spiritual sense. Okay? Because they all have something in common. They all have something in common, these three. And you know what they all have in common? Narcissism. Childhood trauma that has not been healed. Living from a place of fear and not blind faith in God. You understand what I'm saying? Be careful in your place of vulnerability and lack and not feeling loved and pain of who you say you love you to and who you gravitate into that might not have your best interest at heart. I don't care if they family, friends, or whatever, or what have you. Okay? If it quacks like a duck, it's a duck, baby. I don't care who they are. And I'm only saying that because I don't wish no harm on nobody because I'm not cut like that. But I've been that type that's been hurt by the ones that's supposed to have been closest to me. I mean, literally just lie about everything. Like, and I'm not even, if they knew who I was, they know who I am now. Right? I never did a lick of harm to nobody. If anything, I've always defended myself. But The people closest to me have really, out of a place of not being able to accept responsibility or to accept who I've become and who they mistreated. Um, I had that lack type of mindset before I stepped into my power, where I gravitated towards a family that didn't care about me, and that's what happened with these three. That's what happened. They gravitated, and you know what they call this? Trauma bonding. Be careful you don't trauma bond to someone like one of these people that claim to be me and they're not, because they lead people to demises. And I'm only using my story from when I was younger because I trauma bonded. I didn't trauma bond to somebody I didn't know. I trauma bonded to people I trusted and I loved unconditionally. I trauma bonded. And while I trauma bonded, I did nothing but they put their hands on me. They talk about me. They talk about, spirit tell me they talk about me to this day, and I'm not even in the room, or I don't even talk to them. A lot of them still look at my social media, don't even say nothing to me, but they want something bad to say about me. But baby, it will never happen. You feel me? And so I'm using my story, this trauma bonding, because that's what happened in these three stories. Be careful in your vulnerable state who you turn to, because this envy, jealousy, and this control, this narcissism, these people that haven't healed from their childhood trauma, that can't even forgive themselves, that even don't even love themselves at all, are out here trying to control people. And it's these type of people right here. And this is the worst case scenario. But I want to equate this to those that are closest to you as well. This is life right here. Be careful who you trust with your heart, with your time. Self-love is the best love. All right, beautiful souls. I hope y'all got to learn something today. I love y'all, yo. And I want you guys to have a blessed, abundant night. You are more than a conqueror. You are victorious. You are more than inadequate. You are necessary. You don't have to know them to love them. You don't have to know them to wish them well. You don't have to identify with them to love them. You don't have to identify with them to wish them well.